Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the FPL PubCast, the weekly preview stream where we have a look at our game weeks from last week, game week 7. We preview the upcoming game week, have a look at our teams and planned transfers for game week 8. And we've also got a few talking points. Particularly this week, I want to focus on Arsenal because we've got some nice fixtures coming up, so we're going to talk about who the best Arsenal players are to bring in. So I welcome back from his, was it a successful chess venture last week, Trig? How you doing, mate?
It was a mixed chess venture. The Rapid was really good. I was undefeated in the Rapid. So all up, I played 14 games and lost 2 of them. And of course, the only games I remember are the 2 I lost, because it's a bit like FPL in that regard. You have a bad game week and you remember it a lot more than your good game weeks. Yeah, but it's good to be back. Good to be back. Although I think I might have picked up COVID on my travels.
Yeah, you said.
If my voice sounds a bit hoarse today, then that's the reason why. I've got a bit of a hoarse voice. Apparently, it's the latest symptom of a new strain. So good to be here anyway.
I know now you've got a decent rank. You put that in your name as well. But
my rank period. And Nick Walter-Maid has just scored for Newcastle as well.
Ooh,
so
nice one. The man who never stopped streaming, Darius. How you doing, mate? You're joining us and then straight off to another stream. Is that right, on your own channel?
That is correct. We've got the live UCL watch along for match day 2, the second part of it. And this is the only ones I'm going to do because I'll be back on school. Otherwise, I'd be asleep. So,
you're off awake, yeah.
And I'm wide awake for once at the start of this stream, which is fantastic. So I'm excited about that too.
And our special guest, who I probably should have started with, my apologies, Kanji, is the co-host of the Form is Temporary podcast with our good mate, Roberto. Kanji FPL, how you doing, mate? Welcome to the podcast.
I'm good. Thanks for inviting me in. I'm excited to speak with you all. I've been a fan of all of your guys' content for a while. Like, I remember when Gary was doing his interviews. I've been following Nick for at least 2 or 3 years now, and got just recently integrated with D-Unit through like FPL Nightmare. So I'm excited to chat with you guys.
Yeah, it's nice to have you aboard, man. And I'm on the Forms Temporary tomorrow, aren't we? So we've got 2 nights in a row together.
Exactly, back to back.
So just before I start, a quick bit of admin. You want to sign up for our league? The link and code is in the description of the video. All of these streams this season are being done for charity. For specifically any super chats or money we get from ad revenue will go to Mind, who do a lot of work with mental health in the UK, and also Street Child United, who do a lot of work with homeless children globally. There's also links to both charities in the chat. I hope there is anyway. I have a feeling I might have forgotten to put them in this week. But hopefully there should be. And we'll just say a quick hello to people in the chat before we move on to have a look at our teams. So hi to Hippie, who's in first. Hi to Com, Avi, Claire, FBL, Daniel Lucas, the double pivot. I'm not sure if it's Shane or Kieran, but hello, mate. I guess it's Kieran. Oh, no, it's Shane. Yes, Shane was advertised to come on tonight, by the way, but unfortunately couldn't. FBL Sparta, Tyler, IBK Max. Oh, we've got the first super chat. IBK Max 99p. Thank you very much, mate. Robert Light, Colm, Harry, hello everyone. All right, so we'll start by going through our teams in this week, and we're going to go in order of worst to best, basically. Quick reminder, please do like if you're new around here, and if you like the stream, and subscribe if you're new around here. So first team we've got is FPL D-Units, Darius. He is on 37 points for the game week and down at the rank of 7.6 million. His team, for anyone watching, listening, is Petrovic with 3, Snessi with 7, Burn with 0, Chalaba with a grand total of -3, Reinders with 2, Semenyo with 7, Bruno Fernandes with -1, and Burma with 2, Foden captain. That, of course, controversial Joyce with 2, Richarlison with 2, and then Haaland with 16. Darius, how are you feeling after a few days to rest on that great game week?
It was biblical, wasn't it? Yeah. As I said, I obviously made a video about it on Monday, and look, the luck just deserted me this week. I mean, Bruno Fernandes scores that penalty. Like, that in itself was a 15-point swing. Like, if he'd scored, it was an Mbeumo assist. He's on 5 points, potentially 6. They would, and in reality, the VAR also stuffed up because Collins should have been sent off. They came out after the game and said that they got it wrong. So again, they would have been playing against 10 men for the remaining part of that game, and potentially there could have been even more returns for Bruno and Mbeumo over that time, but it wasn't. He missed. 15-point swing there. Then Esteve, what an absolute goon that guy is. Literally sticks his foot in just before Phil Foden's about to put it into the empty net. And that was, again, a 10-point swing because, like, if he hadn't have got his foot to it, Foden scores and he's on a 10-pointer instead of a 1-pointer. And then all of a sudden it looks a very different game. Maybe Haaland's off before the 90th minute because Man City are further in front. And then Santos, I tell you what, Trig, that was a horrible back pass. And, I mean, Chalobah literally had to do something about it, but he did what Collins did, and in reality, it was a red card. It's just, I don't understand how VAR intervened for that one to send him off, but they didn't intervene for the Collins one, and they were identical. Like, and Mbeumo would have scored unless he would have literally had a shot from point-blank range. It would have gone in, most likely, you would think, from that range. And I just feel like I was just dealt an unbelievably bad, lucky hand. And then Jared Bowen, 9 points on the bench. It just kind of topped it all off. So, yeah, I mean, on another week, it goes exceptionally well. And instead of 37 points, I'm on 100. Ironically, my UCL fantasy wildcard is well on track for over 100 points. So I got that one right. Didn't get this one right. But maybe this week it goes big and all of a sudden the second week, sometimes it happens on wildcard. You have a dud week, but the week after it comes good. So hopefully this week it comes good.
Kanji, I'll come to you, mate. Do you think Darius was unlucky in choosing a captain Foden? Brave decision, or?
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of like an anti-templater, I can tell, because if you're going Foden captain, you're also going without, let's just say, Ndiaye in the midfield there. You've gone with Richarlison, Bowen as well. Oh, Bowen's a wonderful pick, by the way. Like, he'll be an excellent differential in the next few weeks. 8 to 12, he looks gorgeous. Some of us are going to be owning Paqueta, and I'll be sitting there watching Bowen score the goals. You know how it is. I think you're unlucky with captaincy. I thought if you were to punt on Foden captain, it would have been for next week. I don't know if you've seen his record versus Brentford. It's brilliant. So you own a great differential. I mean, and same with Bumo. Bumo's data is incredible as well. So I can't really fault the picks. I just don't like Richarlison myself. But apart from that, I like it. You've gone heavy on Newcastle's defense with Pope and Byrne. So hopefully that delivers. I think they're first in the league for expected goals conceded. So you've picked great differentials. Like, I can't really complain about the team. That's just how I feel. Is sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't.
Trig, do you reckon there's anything to worry about with the Chelsea defence with Chalobah out, or
it was bad enough. It was bad enough
before,
with Chalobah in. So, but luckily they got Achipong or whatever his name is back again. So, but yeah, Tosin's injured as well, I think, isn't he? So,
yeah,
going to be a few goals at the weekend because I think Alisson's out as well. But as for the captain here, you never mess around with your captain. I mean, you've played your wild card, so that's a big advantage for you this week as it is. There's no need to take a silly risk with the captain in the week where Haaland has got his best game of the entire season and you've gone against him. And there's no way you can logically defend that argument because it's just ridiculous. So you just start bashing yourself over your head. And it came off, didn't it? It happened. And that was the big risk you took. And it was the worst week you could have done that. Like Kanji said, if you're going to do it next week.
Darius, do you want to come back and defend yourself?
I'm doubling down on Foden this week, 100%. I know his record. He scored a hat-trick against Brentford. He scored a double there last season. Oh. He's got every chance of delivering big points again, and he's probably going to be a lot for 90 minutes again as well. Look, I still say that like the Foden pick as captain was almost legendary. Like it was that close. It was that close to being a 10-pointer. Like, and I mean, look at Haaland. For 90 minutes, the dude had an assist. Like you could say it's like stupid or whatever to take it on whatever, but in reality, it was pretty damn close to being not that bad. But
I mean, it could have worked out for it could have worked out for you, but even so, it was still a terrible decision, just because of expected outcome of it all. So
yeah, I do get that.
Outcome was what actually happened.
Trig.
Yeah, but your team was differential enough without doing that as well.
Okay, so let's move on to Trig's team. Do you notice a slight difference here? I looked at Trig's rank last night and it was 274k. He seems to think it's 250k. I wonder who's got the wrong number there. You're rounding up, were you, Trig?
Team ID.
Rounding up. Right, so Trig's...
I'm rounding down.
Trig and Kanji all did fairly similar, to be honest. So Trig's team is on 70 points. He is up to a great rank, 274k. His team was, for anyone listening, Sanchez at 1, Virgil 2, Senesi 7, Anderson 3, Wirtz 2, Ndai 2, Reinders 2, Fernandez -1, Dribble captain Haaland 48, and then João Pedro with 2, and Gyökeres with 2. Trig, do you want to talk us through your game week, mate? Happy enough with it?
Reasonably happy, although once again it's just one or two players every week bailing out the rest of them. It seems to be like that every week this season. Oh, it's gone nice and quiet. Your fan must have just turned off. So let's have a look at this team. So Sanchez, I'm not too worried about Sanchez. Chelsea have got some great fixtures turning up shortly, and that's better. Quiet now. Ndai, I wasn't very impressed with Ndai, to be honest with you. I felt like he didn't really pass the eye test for me. He was better in the second half, but not great. And I think he's going to be better. Well, I mean, it's penalties, isn't it, that we've got him for? But how many penalties are Everton going to get? Reinders, 4 goals and no returns for Reinders, which isn't ideal. As for Fernandez, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go on about Fernandez because it's just like variance. I mean, this is the other thing with penalties. People do miss them. I mean, we've all got Ndai because he's on penalties. No guarantee he scores it when he gets one. And João Pedro is a bit of a worry for me, as is the whole Chelsea side. And he's been a bit disappointing. So I'm not expecting anything from him against Liverpool. As for Wirtz, everyone else has moved on. I kept him because of the transfer I'm making this week. And Gyökeres was good. Gyökeres actually looks a lot better with Saka in the side. He was there was a lot more transitioning going on. 7 on the bench from Rodon and 4 from Lacroix. But yeah, happy enough with game week.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those game weeks, Kanji, wasn't it? Where for a lot of teams, if you didn't dribble captain Haaland, I know us 3 were lucky enough to, it didn't really come off, did it? I mean, we look at 1 return in Trig's team.
Yeah, no Semenyo is a bit crazy. I can't lie. Wirtz, like, what is he doing there? I can't believe that. What's going on, Nick?
It's a goat move, absolute goat move. And next level skills. He's there because of next level skills. No, but people call me template boy, but I haven't got Semenyo. Semenyo's not essential. He's not essential. I haven't seen a single team without him, hardly. And yeah, I'm not worried. I'm getting someone else this week for Wirtz. Which is why I kept Wirtz, because I could have changed Wirtz to Semenyo last week, but there's someone else I want in that position rather than Semenyo. So yeah, it's a good pick, Semenyo.
Trig.
There's other good picks too. Yeah.
Are you concerned about Ndai? Now, I raised queries about this last week because I thought his only good fixture in the next 6 in terms of an attacking perspective was West Ham. He now has significantly harder teams. And as you said yourself, Everton, the whole of last season, got 3 penalties. So if you're holding on to the hope that he's going to get a penalty, and I would argue that when Dibbling came on for him in the second half, Dibbling looked a hell of a lot better than what Ndai did on the field. And I think you were watching that game. What did you think of that? And are you concerned about potentially you brought in a dub player?
He wasn't great, I must admit. I was expecting more from him in that game, but I'm not overly concerned. And he's got a couple of real bad fixtures, but they're the same fixtures where Stack's got a really good fixture, which is another reason I got stacking. Because in game week 8, Stack's playing Burnley when Ndai's playing Man City, so Stack will be in my starting lineup. And the next tough match Ndai has, also Stack has a good fixture, which is why it was next level planning and not just a solo pick like Gary and everybody else said it was. I put a lot of thought into getting Stack, and he's there for a reason.
You said before we started recording, Trig, there was some channel calling you Solio Boy, and they said, "Oh, we'll never watch this." And then you went and someone sent you the link to it.
FPL Last Resort, it was. FPL Last Resort. And he was going on, it's all right, I can slag Trig off, he won't be listening. And I went and listened and put a comment on
Well,
that.
I
And
know
they
that.
got back to me. They're very happy when I got back to them.
That's FPL Richie, isn't it? I think. It's his podcast.
Probably, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know what his name is.
Okay, right. We'll move on to my team. 70. Well, I had got 76 points, but I took a -4. So rounded it down to 72 points. I took Kanji. I could not take Verts in my team anymore, so I took my first hit of the season. And unfortunately, the person I chose to replace him with was Ndai. So my team was Stelz with 2, Porro with 1, Senesi with 7, Anderson from Fulham with 3, Elliot Anderson with 3, Bruno Fernandes -1, Semenyo 7, Reinders 2, Ndai 2, Gyökeres 2, and Haaland triple captain 48. So very similar to Trig's team. Really was carried by Haaland this week. I mean, only 2 other returns in the team, but very, very happy. I mean, I was said on my members only video I did the other day, I think I've only ever had 1 better triple captain score from this, maybe 2, in a double game week in 11 years of playing. So considering it was a single game week, that was quite nice. And yeah, I mean, I'm fairly happy. I'm slowly getting up the rankings from a poor start. And probably I'm even thinking about putting the wild card off now till game week 13. Drake, do you reckon? What do you reckon to
put it off? Put it off to game week 13. There's a massive fixture swing in 13. Massive fixture swing, and you don't need it now. Your team is pretty much the same as the wild carders anyway. I mean, just change Pedro Porro to Gabriel, and you're pretty much there, aren't you?
Which is probably going to be my move this week. we talked about before.
So you've pretty much got the same as the wild carders, except your bench is different. But it doesn't matter because you've already played your bench boost and they haven't. So you've got the advantage over them there as well. So
wow.
Yeah,
I played my bench boost, but I haven't played my wild card.
Interesting. So that puts you in a really interesting differential position in game week 13, because you could go for like a dead spot striker, go for Salah plus Haaland, and you might be able to still fit in one of Bruno, or maybe go for a Van Dijk on top of that as well.
Yeah.
So you could be in a really interesting position in game week 13.
Yeah, and I'm thinking
when you wildcard, right?
Yeah, and I've got 2.8 million in the bank, so I'm thinking I can get in probably Gabriel and Saka over the next couple of game weeks. Then I've got 4 free transfers to keep me going to 13. Then, Darius, do you want to have your usual hit at my team?
Yeah, Gary, why did you buy and die?
Well, he had been doing well until West Ham. But you are right, a lot of it was on that West Ham fixture, and to see him get nothing was pretty disappointing. But I mean, I much prefer seeing him than Verts.
Oh yeah, I'd agree. I'll go back to Trig on this one as well, because someone put it in the chat and I thought I'd raise it. Why didn't you go with Enzo Fernandez? He's on penalties while Cole Palmer's out. He obviously scored, which obviously is better than what Ndai did. And you're a Chelsea fan, and you should know firsthand that he's been super attacking, particularly with Cole Palmer out of the team. So why didn't you go there with arguably a better team, better fixtures, better returns, better player? I don't understand why you went and Ndai over Enzo. That is the thing that I don't understand.
It's because I'm a Chelsea supporter. I didn't get him. They should drop a prick. He's absolutely hopeless some weeks. And Palmer will be back after the international break, which is only one more match away, by the way. So, yeah. No, I'm not a fan of Enzo Fernandez, to be honest with you. If I was going to get any Chelsea player, I probably would have gone with Estevao, which would have been equally as bad. But the player I think I should have got in hindsight is Rice. But then again, he just got 9 points, didn't he? But Rice, I think, is going to tick over. He's been scoring really well because he's on all the corners that those defenders are scoring. Because I haven't got Gabriel's, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I should have got Rice because then I get points for Gabriel's goals on the corners and stuff. So,
you guys,
yeah.
If you guys looked at the player, I don't know if he's still top of FPL, but he was on Sunday night. He's not made any transfers. I'm assuming it is a he. He hasn't made any transfers, and he's got Salah, Haaland, a load. He's playing 5 at the back, a load of players you wouldn't believe. He's had who's the Irish Chelsea striker who was injured at the start of the season? He's still got him. Rory Delap. Absolutely nuts.
Yep.
Absolutely nuts. And I thought it just goes to show, the team, literally doing no transfers is crazy. I don't know if any of you seen it.
Yeah, that's why I said that other team, Gary, like that I showed you during the week. I was like, not one transfer made top million, and Rice has sat on the bench and come off 3 of the 6 weeks with points of 6, 7, and 9. And I would never have picked Rice as a good player, but my God, he's been good. And I think Trig could be right. Maybe the Arsenal player we actually want is Rice because his corners are just on fire on the left-hand side. Like, they literally hit the same target every single time he takes them. Unbelievable.
Liam Delap, I'm being corrected in the chat. Rory's his dad. But thank you, Kill 22. All right, so let's have a look at Kanji's team. Kanji's having a good start to the season. He's on 76 points, 450k. Raya with 2, Senesi with 7, Van Dijk with 2, Anderson 3, Semenyo 7. I think it's very similar to mine, Kanji. Bruno Fernandes -1, Reinders with 2, Ndai with 2, Evan Nilsson with 2, Gyökeres with 2, and Haaland again, triple captain with 48. So pretty happy with your game week and start to the season, Kanji. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, so I went with a similar trip strategy to Nick, which was wildcard 4, bench boost 5, triple captain 6. That took me from 5.7 million to 450k. But rank isn't really that important at this point in the season. I think, for example, if you're looking at D-Unit's team, he might be like down in the dumps, feeling like he's having a bad start. But it's just the early start to the season, and if anything, this 450k rank is very deceiving. I've used all my chips. So other people still have their rocket boosters that can fly them up in the ranks. But what I can say is 20 points from bench boost and 16 points from triple captain is solid. Yeah. Like when I look back on that, I really can't complain. Looking at my team specifically this week, Haaland really bailed me out. And the big downside to this week was Gabriel. That last minute 13-point haul from him absolutely crushed me. I'm a Liverpool fan as well. That took them from second place in the bookmakers to first place in the bookmakers for the Premier League. That put Gabriel on 13 points, dunking on Van Dijk by 11 points. That Van Dijk versus Gabriel decision on wildcard in Game Week 4, somehow Gabriel's come on top, even though he's played Newcastle, Forest, and Man City, where Van Dijk has played Burnley, Everton, and Palace. I'm just shocked. I can't believe how much that swing has been. So that is the number one issue going into next week. I think the rest of my team picks itself. It's great. I think Tosin is a big issue. I think he is the one mistake I've made on wildcard. If I had gone for, but I think picking him is a skill issue. I actually think picking him is a skill issue because when I want to use him in Game Week 9 or when I want to use him in Game Week 11, he may not even be in the best 11 because they could just play a backup team, right? So I don't really know. And I'd like to hear Nick's opinion on this, but I'm tempted to actually just do Tosin to Richards and lock in Senesi, Anderson, Richards, and then eventually do Lacroix either to Gabriel or Lacroix to Rodin. And I could rotate those 3 4.5s for 2 defensive spots, keep Raya and Van Dijk long-term, and then actually go for a Salah Haaland structure. So I'm curious to hear what Nick's opinion is of is Tosin a good pick?
Right, Nick?
I don't know how long he's out injured for, but if he's going to be back, you may as well just keep him. And I don't think he'd be worth a transfer. You must be tempted by Virgil van Dijk to Gabriel this week. I'm tempted to do it for a hit, but I'm kind of leaning against it. But Chelsea's defence is going to be awful this week. But whether Virgil van Dijk gets anything, he's not going to be. I'm very scared of Gabriel against West Ham with those corners. But I'm just going to have to suck it up. And like you, I was tossing up between Gabriel and Virgil van Dijk on the wild card. And I think what swung it for me was that Gabriel doesn't get defensive contributions. And then he went and got 17 of them or something the other day, didn't he? So, yeah, I'm kind of regretting that decision. But at the time, it looked the logical decision, didn't it? Van Dijk over Gabriel. But that's the thing. There's always something on a wild card that doesn't look right a few weeks later. But
Yeah,
I'd save Tosin.
Yeah, so just to like have this conversation specifically with you, Nick, like, do you think that Gabriel could be the best defender in the game? Because essentially, like, what he is like he has access to the best clean sheet percentages. He has access to the best attacking clean sheets. Like, he has the best attacking returns, I'd say. He probably end up with like 3 or 4 goals from set piece FC. That's what Arsenal are. He's going to be picking up DEFCONs in the more difficult matches, so he could potentially just be a perma play. So would you consider switching to a structure where you're playing 4 at the back, going with Virgil and Gabriel long term, instead of playing like a 7th attacker? So, for example, instead of playing like an Evan Nielsen, you could play like a Gabriel every week.
Well, instead of Ndai, I mean, I think he's going to get more points than Ndai is in the season, for example. So if you had Josh King instead of Ndai and just played Gabriel at the back alongside your other defenders, I think that would be a pretty good strategy. A 4-4-3, 4-3-3 would be pretty good, I think.
Just looking at it,
but,
lads, a lot of people saying Gordon apparently scored a penalty for Newcastle. Darius, do you reckon that Naps is saying there he's coming into their team? Do you reckon that makes him an option now if we got that confirmed?
So the thing with Gordon, I do think potentially he might be on penalties, but we haven't seen Wissa play for Newcastle yet. And he's obviously still out injured. So I don't know when he comes back whether he'll be on him. But if Gordon's taking him now and he's scoring them, you would think potentially he might keep them moving forward, which makes him a pretty appealing asset because he's 7.4 million now. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Newcastle's run of fixtures coming up. I mean, Gary, you should know this being a Newcastle fan. It looks pretty damn enticing, to be fair.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I mean, this wasn't on him at Brentford, was it? It was in Burmo. I'm guessing he would have been back up. Trig, any interest for you, Gordon, if you need an Ndai replacement?
No, none at all. It costs more, I think, doesn't he? Is he 7.5 million?
Yeah, it's about $1 million more.
No, Ndai replacements, I don't know who I'd get. Like I said, Rice looks pretty good, but then I'd probably end up with 4 Arsenal if I had him. But I'll give Ndai a few more weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. He's not a priority. I mean, not all our players score points every week, do they? Which is what we've got to kind of get used to. You've got to be patient with these people.
Yeah. So we didn't really get, I mean, this decision had been made before the lock-in on Friday, but we didn't really get a chance to discuss it. So Nuno Espirito Santos, is that I say his name? Nuno, I'm just going to say, in as the West Ham manager. I mean, I'm just wondering, with him in, whether or not it sort of, well, one, does it make West Ham a re-evaluation in terms of, a target for our FPL players? And B, does it suddenly make their players options? Darius, I'll come to you first for this one, mate, because I know you've got 2 West Ham players in already, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, so I got rid of Juve on wildcard, but I think potentially he is a player we might want back because he's been ticking over with 4 assists now in 6 games. And if West Ham, and you would expect West Ham to improve defensively under Nuno because Nuno showed at Nottingham Forest he knows how to defend, which if Juve keeps on racking up these assists at the rate he's racking them up and then they start keeping clean sheets, all of a sudden we're looking at a very different proposition. Like, if he doesn't need to be getting DEFCON contributions or whatever, if he is racking up assists and he's keeping clean sheets, he's going to be covering the likes of Anderson and that very, very easily. So, and then I think Jared Bowen just becomes a better option. I mean, he's the 3rd top scoring forward already, and he's literally been feasting off scraps. I think potentially with Nuno coming and changing the way they potentially might play, I think we might see an explosion in Jared Bowen. And I do believe he's going to finish in the top 3 scoring forwards this year. And you don't have to worry about him. He's no rotation risk, no Europe. He's literally going to play 90 minutes every week unless he's injured. So, I just think that he is going to be a must-have player. And I think if there's one mistake I've made this season in my own team, it was selling selling Bowen instead of Watkins when I wish I'd done it the other way around. But I corrected the mistake on wildcard, so I'm pretty happy. And João Pedro just seems to have lingering issues. And Gyökeres, I just don't rate. I don't see all the fuss about him. I don't think he's worth 9 mil. It's a bit like people that think that Bruno Fernandes is not worth 9 mil. Well, if you think that Bruno's not worth it, I don't think Gyökeres is worth it either.
Kanji, any West Ham interest you? Well, have you got any? No, you don't, do you? Any?
I do. I actually have Piquet already.
Oh, on the bench.
So yeah, I actually really like this run coming up for West Ham. They have Brentford, Leeds, and Burnley in the next few weeks. Assuming you get rid of the Arsenal fixture, and maybe you might have to bench them for the Newcastle game as well. But those 4 fixtures could be great. And what happened was with James Ward-Prowse, he wasn't a fan. I think the coach isn't a fan of Ward-Prowse, whether he was at Forest or whether he's at West Ham. He wasn't even in the squad last week. So Paqueta just went out there. He's, casually just playing at 85 plus minutes, on penalties, taking every set piece, and he's up 5.9 in FPL. That is something to really consider. But the team strength of West Ham is the issue there. The pick himself is good, but I don't know if West Ham will be able to deliver that many chances or create that many goals. So that's the thing really holding me back. I mean, you could consider the likes of Max Kilman, who could become a DEFCON monster, but these are really edge picks. These are really differentials. Do you really want to be putting your red or green arrows based on how West Ham perform? I'm not really sure. But for now, he's in my team. And I am considering, let's see how he does in the next few weeks, whether he'll be a season hold or just a hold for a few weeks.
Yeah, Trig, I mean, your views on bringing him in, but also do you think, based on what we saw on Monday night as much as anything, that we now can't target West Ham? Or should it be targeting West Ham?
Yeah, I don't think we should be targeting them. And I was actually thinking I shouldn't have bought in Dye-In because we should have expected West Ham to be a bit better, shouldn't we, really? But I guess it was too quick to expect miracles from a manager, but they are going to improve quite quickly, I think. And no longer targets. Not many targets anywhere now, is there, really?
The news only came out at the deadline streams that he was being appointed, didn't it? It wasn't like you had
did it?
Throughout, yeah.
No, West Ham pretty decent. I don't know about Paquetá. He was like the flavour of the month, wasn't he? About the time we wildcarded, wasn't it, Kanji? Everybody was keen on him. It was one of the weeks where everyone got him in. And he's turned out the same way as Ndai probably will. No points. So often these template bandwagons are the ones that seem to not go anywhere. So
yeah.
Yeah, but with that being said, they're on pens, so you can just start them every game, and most of them pick up DEFCONs as well. They're on penalties. As soon as that comes, you're getting 7, 8, 9 points because of bonus as well. So
yeah, true. I guess that wasn't a great fixture for DEFCONs, was it really? And they should do. We'll see. I'll give him another 3 or 4 weeks.
And quite a few comments, Kanji, that you look like Bruno Fernandes. Have you had that one before?
No, I've never had that before.
Never had that one. An FPL hippie saying, Kanji sounds like he should be on radio introducing smooth jazz.
No, I appreciate that. You should have heard the way that I introduced myself before we went live. I was so awkward, so it's good I got that out of the way.
Okay, all right. So, I mean, I heard someone... I think it was China said in the chat they're thinking about getting getting Gordon in over Bruno, someone who can actually take penalties. So Darius, I'll come to you again first with this one, mate, as the Man United fan. Do you think Bruno is going to take the next penalty? And if not, or just generally, should we be getting away from him now, even though they've got Sunderland at home this week?
I watched Mark Goldbridge this morning, and apparently he put into I think it was ChatGPT or an AI thing, and he asked AI, name me the best starting 11 for Manchester United, and the AI actually benched Bruno Fernandes, which I thought was hilarious. And so did Mark. Mark thought it was funny as well. But let's be honest, he's missed 2 or 3 penalties in the league. You would think... But it's Bruno. So I really struggle to believe that he's going to give him up because he's the captain. He just seems to do everything and make it up as he goes along. I'm kind of hoping that he is off him because if he is, then I would expect Brian and Boomer to be taking him. And now with him in my team this week as well, it would be ideal that he did take him, because then all the idiots that have got Bruno, including myself, will have him blank, but Brian and Boomer will return and probably put it into the net, which would be nice. There's been some talk about whether his run-up has changed, and it has changed over the 5 years. Like, he was so elite, like, when he first showed up. He had the hot skip and a jump, and it literally went in almost every single time. I don't know if he's got into his own head. I just don't think Bruno looks like he's a player that wants to be at Man United anymore. That's my honest opinion. And to be honest, I kind of regret keeping him on wildcard. I'm quite happy with Bruno still, but I think Bruno is a bit of a problem. But knowing me, having said all that, he'll probably deliver a 10-pointer against Sunderland, and we'll all be like, "Oh, well, we'll just keep him."
Why do you say that? He doesn't want to be there. Body language, or
yeah, just the way his demeanor is. Like, he's always been like a whinger at the ref. Some refs can't stand him at all, and he's also been a whinger at his own teammates. But this season, he just looks disinterested, for one of a better term. It's like he wanted to be in Saudi Arabia getting the millions already. I don't know. He just looks off. And I don't know if it's because he doesn't want to play in the center of midfield. I don't really know, but there's something up there. And I think that Ruben Amorim either has to bite the bullet and admit that he just needs to play him in the number 10 position and work out who he's benching out of the lot of them. But I just can't see any world where Man United turn it around with Bruno in one of the midfield two. He gets walked through too often. I mean, watching him and Ugarte against Brentford was exactly what I expected. Ugarte is the most limited midfielder we've got. Bruno just has no discipline. There's a reason why Man United are crap, and it's because there is no midfield. And the midfield has not been addressed since Michael Carrick retired, and that was about 10 years ago.
Right. So, like, as a perfect, like, addition to what you're saying, like, do you own Salah in Game Week 8? Because I don't think I will. And, like, that's the big problem. And you've just wildcarded and you didn't go for a Salah Holland. So, like, we're sitting there and it's going to be Salah and Liverpool's midfield versus, like, basically Bruno and Ugarte. Like, we'll destroy them. We're Liverpool. I don't know. I know we're not playing well. We just lost in the Champions League. We just lost last week. People are going to be so low. But the people that have Salah Holland are going to dunk on us. They're going to captain Salah. We won't even own him. Like, it's going to be crazy.
Don't get him started on Salah. You don't know what box you've opened there, Kanji.
Salah's no good, mate. He's 33 years old. He's already getting rested in the Champions League. The writing is on the wall for him. He's not worth 14.5. And also, to go with that, there is a strong possibility that if Sunderland somehow get any kind of result on the weekend, that he won't be in charge. And it'll be a very different looking team, I would suggest, if he's not in charge, which goes to Anfield. And I dare say there won't be the likes of Harry Maguire starting at centre-back that moves like a truck if another manager's in place. So you've got to be hoping as a Liverpool fan that Amorim gets a result this weekend and gets a reprieve. Otherwise, you're probably going to be facing a much harder proposition in Game Week 8.
Trig, you've got Bruno. I mean, I've got him as well. I think he's going to survive one more week in my team, but I don't see him surviving much longer. How about yourself, mate? Any thoughts of getting rid or...
No, I'm very relaxed about him, to be honest. I'm not really see him as a problem yet at all. I mean, if he looks awful against Sunderland, I might reconsider. Yeah. But there's nobody I really want to bring in for him. I mean, the player I'm getting this week, I'm getting for Wirtz. So I think long-term he's going to be fine. I don't see an issue, really. I mean, he could have, like Darius said, he could have had a major haul this week. He could have had a major haul the other week when he missed his penalty. So he gets points. He only got 10 points a week before, I think, didn't he? And
he did.
There's not really anyone better to replace him with, in my opinion.
I mean, let's talk FPL. Andy always says he's one of those players. If you're going to have him in, you've got to be prepared for the ups and downs, haven't you? Because one week he'll get sent off, then he'll get you a 15-pointer and so on. Okay, all right. Let's get on to the main thing I wanted to talk about before we talk about this week's game weeks, which is obviously Arsenal. So there's been a lot of talk, even before this game week, about their fixture swings. Their next 3 fixtures are 5 fixtures. I think they're good fixtures, even continue for a bit longer than this. West Ham at home, although, as we've just said, maybe they're not such an easy target now. Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home. But the two that are really stand out are Burnley away in game week 10 and then Sunderland at home in game week 11. So, I mean, I think we all need some Arsenal representation. But I'm going to come to each of you and say, number one, do you think Arsenal are essential for the next 5 weeks? And secondly, who would be your top 3 targets from Arsenal to bring in if you were on a wild card now, for example? Trig, I'll come to you first, mate.
Well, I think it would obviously be Gabriel, Saka, and Gyökeres, although it's an expensive combination up front. So I'd put in the 4th place, I'd put Rice. I think Raya is vastly big. Yeah, I think if I had to make a 4th pick, but I think one that's being really overbought is Raya. I think he's a complete waste of time. It's just like trying to buy points because he doesn't get save points. He's not going to get bonus points. He's like 6 points or 2 points, and he's 5.5 million when you can probably get the same points from someone like Pope, even Sanchez or Petrovic, any of those. So I think he's a waste of an Arsenal spot. You know, everyone who wildcarded last week seemed to bring both of them in. But I think there are going to be better Arsenal options. I think Raya just blocks the spot from one of the other ones. I mean, Ez's another one we haven't mentioned. So there's there's good opportunities there in the attacking sense, I think. Could turn out to be Ezo, couldn't it, is the best one. But we just don't know. But I'm bringing in Saka this week anyway. So we shall see. Well, I'll have to watch this game tonight first. That's going to provide us always some clues.
So I'm going to come to Kanji next because I have a feeling Darius might have a different take on this based on what we were talking about before we started the stream. What do you think, Kanji? Are they essential, and which 3 would you be going for?
I think Gabriel and Gyökeres are essential. I think like good FPL managers will own both. The third one is really up to you. You can go for an extra Raya spot if you want to cover up the defense. They've been the best defense in the world for the last few years. You can't really hate on any manager going double defense in this run. Saka is sitting there with very low ownership, but now we don't even know if he's going to take a pen anymore at 10.0. Is he really worth it? Palmer's probably better for slightly more. I'd rather own him if he was fit, but Palmer has his own issues with fitness. And with Madueke out, Saka's minutes have to be on the up. So if anything, Saka is the number 1 differential to be owning. But because most of us have already wildcarded, we've already sort of put ourselves in a position to like sit in our bed and like lay in it. But I don't own Gabriel. So I'm actually wondering, is it worth the -4 to bring him in? That's like a key question for me.
-4 for a defender.
You don't need a -4, do you? Have you already made a transfer?
I do. I have the money to do Lacroix to Gabriel. I can do that for free. But I'm tempted to just get rid of like Tosin. That's the problem. So I'm not sure what the right move is.
Okay, let's put off chat of Kanji's transfers till we get onto his team later.
Yeah, of course.
Darius, I think you're going to come on with one of your anti-template rants here, possibly.
I forgot to mention this when we saw Kanji's team before. I don't know why you didn't play Lacroix over Anderson, because Lacroix is just as good for DC points. He plays in a better defense that is far more likely to keep a clean sheet than what Anderson's ever likely to keep. And we saw, like, if you want to target a club for attackers, it's when they play Fulham, because Fulham do not know what a clean sheet is. They literally concede every single week. They played Villa into form. Like, Villa were awful, and then they just conceded 3 goals to Villa. I don't understand the love for Anderson. The dude is never going to get a goal. Like, I don't care what people say. He has not scored a goal now in about 50 games, so it's not going to happen. And if it does, it's going to be a complete blue moon. But when we talk about the Arsenal players, now, I agree. That's one of the main reasons why I wildcarded, because I kind of thought, I want Raya, but then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, I'd already bought Raya in. I was like, the only way I can fix this is if I wildcard, because otherwise, it's not going to happen. And I just think that there is no upside with Raya. He's not really keeping the save points. It's either clean sheet or bust. And I don't know if that's what I really want from the goalkeeper. You kind of want someone that is, if they do concede, might actually get you a save point or 2. And when they do keep a clean sheet, potentially they could be on for a 10-pointer rather than a 6-pointer. In terms of the defense, I'm not sure. And look, the cartel have been peddling Gabriel because of the fact that he returned, obviously, on the weekend. Congratulations, he scored in the 96th minute. Gabriel averages 4 goals a season, so you've missed out on 25% of the returns from that big haul on the weekend if you haven't already got him, because that averages...
Darius, what was more surprising was the defensive contribution points, really, wasn't it, than the goal?
Oh, yeah, I agree. I actually think Gabriel was lucky to be on the field. I think that's been missed in all of this. He literally whacked Voldemar in the face. So I'm not sure how that wasn't picked up by VAR. There was some questionable calls from VAR this weekend. I mean, I actually thought he was lucky to still be on the field. He should have conceded that penalty as well. I feel like that was just really jammy points. But if you look at the underlying numbers, you should be going for Timber or Calafiori instead. Like the underlying data for Timber is 0.44 XGI per 90. For Calafiori, it's 0.32 XGI per 90. For Gabriel, it's 0.09. So just think about that for a second. The reason why it's so much slower is because people know that Gabriel's a threat on corners, and generally the best marker is going to Gabriel, which is allowing the other defenders to profiteer, which is why we've seen massive hauls already for Timber and Calafiori. And the other thing to keep in mind is that the centre-backs aren't going to get subbed off. So if it's post the 60th minute and Arsenal have got the clean sheet and say they're playing set piece FC and it's 1-0, 2-0, and the other team's pushing for a goal, I know who I'd rather in my team, Timber or Calafiori, because they're going to get subbed between 60 and 70th minute when they're going to bank the clean sheet point. Gabriel's going to be on there trying to defend until 90 minutes. He's more likely to concede than what Timber and Calafiori are when they start. So I'm really shocked that people are rushing for Gabriel. It's basically because he scored last week, let's be honest. Because if Timber or Calafiori had scored instead, they would be far in front. And based on the data, those are the players that I would be looking to bring into my own team. It's not Gabriel. And I think you can definitely get away with saying about 0.4, 0.5 mil and going for one of the other two instead. But I'd recommend holding till game week 8 and just dodging the West Ham game. I actually think the West Ham are going to do something this weekend. They're fresh off a week of Nuno training. I do not think it's going to be a cakewalk, and I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham actually get something out of the game either.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Kanji, I'll come to you. Do you think Calafiori and Timber are nailed? I think that's the real.
No.
I think that's a lot of reason people go for Gabriel, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I think Ben White was like a really solid player, but Timber is like much better from an offensive perspective. So in these fixtures, I still think Timber should be starting. But again, it's all really lineup dependent, right? This is why we have to see maybe Ben White gets the Champions League games. Like we have to monitor and see how that goes, but it's a risk. And is that really where you want to take your risks? I'd rather take my risks on somebody like Foden rather than somebody like Timber, you know? So that's why for me, it's like, I just think Gabriel's essential. I pay the premium for him so I can have fun elsewhere.
Okay, let's have a look at the fixtures before we go on to look at our teams. So, reminder, if anyone watching hasn't got it in their diary or in their head, the deadline this week is 8 o'clock. No, 6:30 on Friday. First time we've had a Friday deadline for a while, isn't it?
Oh, Friday deadline. I didn't even know.
Yeah, it is, mate, yeah. So, I'll go first, I think, this week. So the Friday night game is Bournemouth versus Fulham. I reckon this one will be pretty tight. But I think Bournemouth will have too much. I'm going to go 2-1 to Bournemouth here, hopefully with some points for Evan Nilsson and Semenyo. Darius, you love predicting Spurs. Leeds versus Spurs, mate. What do you think for this one?
I was very unimpressed on the weekend against Wolves. I was even more unimpressed last night against Bodo Glimt, who were exceptionally unlucky not to walk away with a win. I'm going to go with Leeds winning this game, 2-1.
Really?
I think Spurs are crap. I'm back on the Spurs are crap. Every time I think Spurs are crap, they do well, and the Pigeon scores. So if I say that they're good, he's not going to score. So because I've got him, Spurs are crap, he's going to get a brace, and I'm going to sit there and say, yep, thank you very much, mate.
Okay. Kanji, I'll come to you next, mate. Well, I mean, I guess this is one of the reasons we're all going in on Arsenal. Whether we should be or not now, Nuno's in charge. Arsenal versus West Ham, mate. What do you see happening with this one?
Well, it's all going to come down to 3 counterattacks that West Ham are going to have in the entire game for them to score. They're not going to score from a set piece. So it's going to be straight up 3 counterattacks from Bowen or, I don't know, Paqueta on the counter. If they can stop that, it'll be 3-0. If not, it'll be 3-1.
Class, you can just you said you used all your clips earlier. What? When did you use the free hit?
I didn't use that. That's saved up for like in case
Okay.
there's a double game week in the future. So that way I don't need to spend transfers, bringing people in, selling them later. I can just free hit them in and enjoy it.
Okay, cool. Darius, I'll come to you, mate. Man United, Sunderland at home. And can you take charge of me while I do my usual thing and go and powder my nose during the predictions?
Man United against Sunderland. Oh, this is a hard one. I've actively been working on my score predictions for the late mail, and I don't know what to expect in this game. I feel like the pressure is going to be unbelievable on Ruben Amorim and the team in this game, and I don't know how that's going to make them play. I like to think Man United have a habit, though, of getting results before international breaks when the manager's under extreme pressure. So I'm going to go with a Man United win. I don't think it's going to be convincing. I think they're going to fall over the line. I'm going to say that they'll concede because they've conceded in every game. They're up there with Fulham and Brighton for the worst defence in the league at the moment. So I'm going to go with 3-2. And we'll go to Trig, Chelsea versus Liverpool, mate. Honest opinion, what's going to happen?
We couldn't be playing them at a worse time, honestly. I think Liverpool are going to win this one. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. And yeah, Chelsea are really up against it. I mean, Chalobah is suspended. They haven't got Palmer. It's not looking good, is it? They won last night. They managed to keep a clean sheet last night against Benfica, but that was touch and go. And Liverpool aren't the best, though, at the moment. But yeah, I suspect Liverpool are going to win, unfortunately.
I think if Vert comes into the 11, like if he's in the midfield, I think you guys will score for sure, like no doubt. But if he plays like McAllister, Szoboszlai, or Gravenberch, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a low-scoring game. So let's see. It depends on the lineup, right?
It's difficult, isn't it? I even thought about keeping Wirtz this week, just so that. But I just don't trust him to start. If only Wirtz is going to start, I'll probably save my transfer because I think that Liverpool are going to get a few goals this week. That's why I'm keeping Virgil van Dijk and not taking a -4 to get Gabriel in, because I just think that he could do well on corners or whatever, just like Gabriel can.
Yeah. Did you notice that Wirtz was like starting in the left wing spot in the last few games? The coach is trying to get him the freedom on the left wing.
He's not. I mean, he should have scored last week, though, to be fair, and got an assist. And if that had happened, everyone would have a different opinion of him. But
even in the Champions League, he had chances.
I don't think his spot is secure, though, is it? Because they lost in the Champions League and they lost last week, and he was playing in both those matches. So they might well go back to like last season's lineup. That's what I'm thinking, because it's not working out. The new system, they've kind of changed the way they play to accommodate Wirtz, and it's not really working, is it? Despite all the points they've got, they've been very lucky to have as many points as they've got.
Where are we up to, guys?
Aston Villa, Burnley.
Aston Villa, Burnley. Okay, I'm going to take that one. I mean, Villa seem back on it, don't they, against Sunderland? And if they can do it against Sunderland,
what? Wasn't Sunderland
against Fulham and Anderson? Gary,
come on, mate. Okay. Sorry. Well, if they can do it against Fulham, they can certainly do it against Burnley. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 with a Watkins and a Rodgers return. What do you reckon to that? Trig, Everton versus Crystal Palace.
Difficult one, isn't it? I mean, Palace finally do have a European fixture this week, don't they? So,
do they? When is that? Thursday?
We'll see how they get on. Yeah, that'll be a Thursday, but they're not playing until Sunday, so they should be all right, I guess. But it's going to be a tight one, this one, isn't it? I don't know how this will end up. I'll save one each. I'm going to have to play Lacroix, I think. I've got to either play Lacroix against them, or play Anderson against Bournemouth. So I'll probably play Lacroix, and we shall see. But I'd say one each for this game. I think it's going to be tight.
The next one is Newcastle Forest. I mean, Kanji, I'll come to you. Do you think, well, what do you think the score will be? Do you think Forest or maybe should be replacing West Ham as another team we're targeting?
Do you remember last year when we were always targeting Tottenham? That's
Yeah.
like the same thing that I think I'm going to do this year with Forest. They really haven't looked that great. I expect Newcastle to dominate this game. They've been the best defense in the league so far this season. So I think a fair result would be 2-0. I think that's what the score is in the Champions League at the moment too. So that's what I'd expect.
Yeah, he's not really started life very well there, has the old hand. Well, this is a bit of a nothing game, really, FPL wise. But Darius, Wolves versus Brighton. What do you reckon to this one, man?
Wolves need to get some points here, and I'm starting Krejci, so I'm hoping that they can actually do the business here against Brighton. Brighton, you never know what you're going to get, and I feel like they were offering nothing until Chelsea went down to 10 men. So I'm kind of hoping that that Krejci might be able to do me something with Chalobah, obviously missing out and sitting on the bench this week. So I'm going to go with a Wolves 1-0 Krejci goal win.
Okay. This one is much more relevant FPL wise. City versus Brentford, or Brentford versus City. Trig, I'll come to you for this one, mate, because I mean, this is obviously we're going to look at our teams in a minute. This one's going to be quite important, I guess, with captaincy. How many do you reckon City will get here?
2 or 3 goals, probably. They normally do, don't they? So I'd be surprised if Brentford got anything out of a game, but you never know. You never know. City haven't played in the Champions League yet, have they? Are they playing tonight? Yeah, they are. So
Tonight.
Lineups available. Let's have a quick. Hang on, I'll give you a quick lineup. So Reinders is playing tonight. Haaland's playing. Doku's playing. Rodri, Foden's playing too. So they're playing a completely full strength team against Monaco. So we're going to have to monitor that one. See, hopefully no injuries. But I guess it does increase the chance of a bit of rotation at the weekend, doesn't it? Because although Pep hasn't been doing much rotation, has he, so far?
The price they're going so
and look, new assistant manager. New assistant manager, I think, is having a big impact on what we're seeing from Man City this year. They've changed the way they play, and I reckon the assistant manager's been like Jurgen Klopp used to play a settled lineup, and I reckon what we're seeing, and no one's cotton on to it yet except me, because I reckon I've seen it, because Pep Roulette is normally a real thing. Normally every single week you're like, who's going to be playing whatever. We are getting the same lineup in all these teams other than the League Cup. So that's telling me that either someone's influencing his decision-making in terms of the team selection, but I think there's something to it. And I could be wrong. Maybe it's just because they've got so many injuries, but I think potentially we might be seeing the effect of Jurgen Klopp's assistant manager on Pep.
Really?
Yeah.
So but it's confirmed now then Bob's starting for Foden at the weekend.
I don't think Pep's methods are going to change because of an assistant manager after, what's he been, 10 years at City now? Okay, all right, let's go on to have a quick look at the highest predicted scoring highest projected goals and clean sheets of the week. So I'll just read out the top 4 for anyone listening. So projected goals top are Arsenal with 2.5, Man United 2.08, City with exactly 2, and then Newcastle and Villa equal with 1.84.
Oh, shit.
Something.
Hang on, a bit of quick team news. Saka's not starting.
Really? Is he on the bench?
He's on the bench.
Okay. Well, that might be good. I don't know.
Right, isn't starting neither is Timber or Calafiori, so they're all locks for the weekend, I'd say.
Yeah, that's what I take from it.
Yeah, Ezra's not starting either.
Interesting.
Wow. Oh, sorry to interrupt there.
No worries, mate. And then clean sheets top predicted are Arsenal, Aston Villa, Man United, and Newcastle. So what I usually do here, Kanji, is I take the perspective, if you were on free hit this week, you could choose 3 players. You to choose 3, then Darius, and then Trig. And we have to try and come up with a team. It doesn't have to be the same positions, but they're not allowed to choose your picks. So what would be your top 3 picks this week if you were on free hit?
Gabriel, Bruno, and then Bumo.
Oh, Bruno. Interesting. Okay. Darius?
Phil Foden, captain. Haaland and third one, Dan Burn. Dan Burn.
Trig, remember, you're not allowed to have any that have already been picked.
Saka. I think that's the third Arsenal, second or third Arsenal, isn't it?
Third, yeah.
Is that the third one?
I think so.
I'll go with... Actually, Newcastle look very interesting at home to Forest, don't they?
Gordon?
I'll go for the striker. No, I'll go for the striker. He scored again tonight.
Okay.
And for a defender, don't look great, do they? No, I'll go with a Liverpool player. I'll go with Isaac. We've probably got too many strikers, but I'll go with Isaac for this one.
Okay, I'll try and clean up. I'll go, if I can remember, Gordon, Watkins, and who could I have in defence? Gavardio. Okay, all right, let's get on to our teams for this game week, and we'll start with our guest, Kanji. So, Kanji, I'll read out your team, mate, for anyone listening, and then you can talk us through any player moves or if you already made any moves. So Kanji's got Raya at home to West Ham, Senesi at home to Fulham. Trig?
Lacroix.
No, I come to Trig. The audience love the way that he pronounces it. Come on, Trig, give us another one.
Lacroix
away to Everton. Anderson away to Bournemouth. Semenyo at home to Fulham. Bruno Fernandes home to Sunderland. Reinders away to Brentford. Ndai at home to Crystal Palace. Evan Nilsson up front against Fulham alongside Gyökeres and Haaland. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this game week and any planned moves, Andrew?
I have 1.3 in the bank.
Oh,
so I think
one or two free transfers. Sorry,
I have one free transfer, just one free. So I'm thinking Lacroix to Gabriel. Easy move, just simple. Cover up the EO. Gabriel already dunked on me. 11 points. Every manager that matters owns him already. Like Fabio Borges, the only real manager that doesn't own him. Everyone else, when you look at the all-time top-rated managers that you follow, own him. So I don't want to be losing points to them. I've already lost 11. I don't want it to continue. So I think that's the move. But then I asked myself, like, wait, Anderson versus Van Dijk, I think they're both going to be either 2-pointers or 4-pointers. So I don't know. Maybe I could just, I don't know. I'm tempted to take a -4, man. I might just go Richards in and Gabriel in and just go and enjoy it. But let's see. I don't know.
I don't like those moves because you got Lacroix on your wild card, right? Because he's a really good pick. And to transfer him out, I think's a bit silly. Oh, I definitely would not play Anderson over Virgil van Dijk. I think that's a huge error. I mean, I've got them both as well. There's no way.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, Bournemouth, I would expect them to score. I mean, look, I have double Bournemouth attack here. Yeah, so definitely Van Dijk would be in the 11.
But other than that, yeah, that's the problem I've got with Gabriel as well. It's like, who do you take out? If I was going to take anyone out, it would be Virgil van Dijk to get Gabriel in.
Nick, the problem with going Lacroix to Gabriel, it's not that, I think Gabriel's going to add points in the short term. The problem is I can't get to the solid Holland teams that I want to longer term in game week 12. That's the big drawback. But let's see. I have to sit and think about it.
Yeah. Do we need to get to a solid Holland team, Kanji? That would be my retort.
You know what, bro? Like,
that's so long away. So long away. You don't need to worry about it now.
Like that's what people think. And then they'll be scrambling. They'll be like, oh, I have all this money in my defense. Like, I wish I had thought about it before. Trust me, bro. The king, it's going to be the return of the king. Game week 12, he'll be my captain. I'll be there.
But Kanji,
that's why I'm saying you should take out Virgil van Dijk for Gabriel and not Lacroix.
Yeah, see, I have a lot of things. I consider that as well, too.
I mean, the thing that I think is, yeah, you're right. I would probably want him in if I do wildcard in game week 13. But then he's off again. He's off in game week 16 or 17. So...
It's a good free hit week, Gary. Good free hit week.
Anyway.
One of those where Salah's got a good fixture.
Yeah, I mean, Darius, I'll go for a really crazy one here before we move on to next team. Do you think, I'm fairly sure review was at least, I think it is, it's recommending I captain Fernandes. What do you reckon to that one?
Let's ask the card. Captain Fernandez, yes or no?
You've muted. You've muted yourself, Darius.
Look at that. I muted myself by accident with the card landing on. So it actually landed on, Captain Fernandez. Go ahead, Gary. The card always gets a right over review. It didn't like Ndai last week, and it was right because Ndai blanked. And I'm just looking at Kanji's team, and there's no way in the world I'd be benching Virgil van Dijk for Anderson. I mean, Anderson's got no hope of a clean sheet. Virgil's got a little bit of I'd also be starting Paquetá over Ndai because Paquetá's going to play 90 minutes. He could get defensive contributions quite easily against Arsenal, and Ndai is going to get you nothing against Crystal Palace. So I would swap them two around as well. But Bruno Fernandez, captain, it's risky. It can pay off, though, and he does like these kind of teams, Gary, so maybe there's something in it.
Yeah, well, my captain's not on Fernandez. I'm being told by Chill that I'm worried about your team coming out because all your fans are in the audience. I quite like ripping into Darius's team, but I think it's my team first. So I've got 2.8 million in the bank, I think, and 1 free transfer. So I've got Sells away to Newcastle, Porro.
Wow.
Sorry?
Oh, another penalty for Gordon.
Oh, I thought it was because my team. You're just going, wow, what a team. Sells away to Forest, Porro away to Leeds, Celestia home to Fulham, Konza at home to Burnley, Fernandez, currently vice-captain, at home to Sunderland, Semenya at home to Fulham, Reinders away to Brentford, Ndai at home to Crystal Palace, Evan Nilsson, Gyökeres, and Captain Haaland up front. So, I mean, I'm just planning to make the boring move. I want to get probably Gabriel this week, and given Pedro Porro was dropped last week, I don't think we can trust him going forward. Probably Porro to Gabriel, and then maybe Fernandez to Saka the following week. I'm pretty relaxed about the team, and I've got quite easy enough money to do that, even with price falls and price drops. I can very easily afford that. So I'll come to the man who loves to rip apart my team, Darius.
I think you're making a horrible move. I'd actually transfer out Ndai and fix your mistake straight off the bat and bring in Anthony Gordon, who's got an amazing run, who's going to get you a lot more points than Ndai is. And I think Pedro Porro away at Leeds is probably comparable with Gabriel and West Ham. So I think that would be a far higher upside move, and you're going to get a lot more points from it than playing Ndai or Anderson every single week in that midfield spot. I think Anthony Gordon could absolutely go ham, and I think a lot of people post the international break are probably going to be looking to pivot to Gordon, and maybe he can steal a march by going a week early.
He scored 1 penalty in the Champions League.
Two penalties. He's just taken 2 penalties in the same game.
He's on penalties. That's what we know. That's what we know. Like, I'm going to rip my team up to get him in because Newcastle had a couple.
You don't need to rip your team up. You don't need to rip your team up. You just need to make one transfer, Gary.
Yeah, no wild card is needed, Gary. You have one transfer, just use it on Ndai and get Gordon in. You've got the money in the bank. You can do it with one move.
All right, Craig, what do you reckon for that?
It does sound a good move because content creators are going to go berserk over Gordon now, and they're all going to end up getting him. But Pedro Porro to Gabriel is also a very good move, in my opinion, because Pedro Porro is probably dropping in price, is he? He's no longer, no one's really got him anymore, so he's not going to hurt you too much if he does somehow manage to get a few points. Whereas not having Gabriel could hurt you. Your team would then be very safe. Your team is very, very safe. It's as template as they can get, pretty much, except you've got Konza, which is a good thing.
Almost as template as yours.
Well, a lot more template than mine because I don't have Semenyo. See, I've got to worry about Semenyo. You don't really have to worry about anybody if you get Gabriel in. But except Gordon, of course, because Gordon is now on penalties. And you know how the community loves penalties and review loves penalties. So you might find come the weekend that when you put your team into review, it might actually tell you to get Gordon.
It might do.
So it might do.
I mean, the things I don't know. I've just bought in dying. I mean, I guess I could take a hit, but I don't know. I feel bad enough about taking a hit last week. It's the first hit I've taken for about a year, which didn't involve a double game week. Kanji, I'll come to you, mate.
How much have you got in the bank again?
2.8, I think.
Yeah, I would -4. You have two. You have one free, right?
One, yeah.
Yeah, one free. I would sell Poro and Cells. I think you just go Gabrielle and Raya, and I think you have a really good team.
See, I
Straight
prefer,
up.
yeah, I prefer that move. The only thing with that, mate, is it blocks me out of Saka.
Yeah, forget Saka, bro. Gordon's better anyway. He's on pens.
Oh,
Bang.
okay then. Okay. Plenty for me to think about there. Let's move on to. I can't remember whose team is next. Darius' team. So Darius has got Pope in goal versus Nottingham Forest. I do like that pick. Senesi at home to Fulham. Burn at home to Newcastle. Nottingham Forest. Say it for us, Darius. I don't know how to say this one. Krejci.
Yeah, something like that.
Krejci away at home to Brighton. Semenya at home to Fulham. Foden, captain, away to Brentford. Reinders away to Brentford as well. Fernandez at home to Sunderland, and then Burmo, and then Haaland and Richarlison away to Leeds. So, yeah, what have you made any moves yet, Darius? Or?
No, I mean, ideally, I want to roll this week and have 3 free transfers to the international break, so that way I will do some moves over there. I'll probably use all 3 of them up because Richarlison probably leave in game week 8, and there'll be a couple of other moves that happen as well. But when I wildcarded last week, it's because I actually looked long term, and the team looks really good. Other than the pigeon, for the next few weeks, obviously, Man United have Liverpool in game week 8, and depending on the manager situation, I'll probably move one of them out in one of those moves as well. And look, I'm betting on the Newcastle defense over Arsenal because of the fact that they're cheaper, and I think that what they offer per se is pretty equivalent to what Arsenal's does. I had looked this week at potentially doing 2 moves and getting rid of Chalobah for Timber, because I quite like Timber and I think it's differential and I think he's going to be better than Gabriel. I strongly believe that. But then I was like, I needed to free up the money for that, and I don't really want to sell anyone this week to free up the money for that. So I think I'm just going to leave it, and I'm just going to roll and hope that West Ham score and Jared Bowen does me a favour sitting on the bench yet again. That would be nice. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. And Phil Foden's record at the Brentford, we don't need to go into further detail other than that. If he delivers what he normally does at the G-Tech, he's going to smash Haaland's score this week. So I'm willing to give him the armband one more time and hope he comes in for me.
So I'm not actually going to rip into your team this week because I think for this week, it looks very good. But I think captaining Foden over Haaland when you've just been burnt once is like putting your hand on a heater, getting burnt, and then putting it straight back on again. Do you agree, Trig?
Probably, yeah. I mean, statistically, Haaland's expected to get the more points. So you're just going against logic, really. And the captaincy isn't the place to... Just owning Foden is enough without captaining him. That's my opinion anyway. But I play very boring.
Yeah. Kanji, what's your thoughts, mate?
I mean, you know what? D-Unit's going for vibes at this point, bro. Sitting at 7.6 mil. Like, the whole community is going to be on Haaland. If you can spike that Foden hat-trick where he has a historical record of doing so, I would probably consider it too at that rank. So, but the thing is, I will say this. I fell into this trap with Salah last year, where I went against Salah. He dropped, I think, 100 points in like 7 or 8 weeks. Everyone was captaining him. So pretty much everyone was getting like 200 points. At the time, I had Son, I had Foden. So I was getting pummeled. Like, I was getting just destroyed. So my rank was falling 1 million. I was dropping like 300K every single week because of Salah captaincy. I had everything else, but Salah captaincy was killing me. Eventually, I think it was like the halfway point of the season. I think Liverpool played Spurs. That was like a big turning point. I'm like, forget this. I sold Son. I went to Salah. I captained him. He got like 15 points or something. And from there, I captained Salah every single week for the rest of the season. And I climbed from 4 million to 200K. And I was thinking to myself, like, imagine if I wasn't stubborn and I just made the right decision earlier on, I would be sitting in the top 100K. So something that maybe you could learn from. But I think this week it's really tempting. I'd probably be tempted with Foden too.
You know what I feel like? It's like we're at an intervention meeting and Darius is now a colleague and we're all like trying to get him off back onto the water. Darius, I've got to give you a chance to come back, mate. Have we talked you into captaining Haaland?
No, not at all. I'm playing this team exceptionally differently to what I'd normally play. Let's be honest.
Your real team.
There's a reason why my other team's in the top million. It's because I'm not playing as recklessly as I'm playing with this team. But I was like, you don't win FPL by playing it safe. So I was trying to double down on that. And sadly, most of the decisions I've made that have been really doubling down have not paid off. But yeah, so the other team's actually captaining Haaland, but I'm captaining Foden on this one. So we're going to hope that it comes in and I'll be laughing. And I just want to come back from like a ridiculous position and I think it'll make for a great story. So that's my plan. And I honestly think that Phil Foden, based on his record, is better than Haaland this week. I legitimately believe that. So I'm willing to roll the dice and go all in on him again.
You can't even say he starts, so you're taking a big risk. Just
he's starting. He's starting. He's not going to be benched before the international break. That's ridiculous.
I mean,
like none of them are going to be benched before the international break. That's why they're getting benched tonight. Like the players that are getting benched, they're not going to be benched on Sunday. With the international break, and they'll probably like feign an injury afterwards, so they get their rest then. So there's no way he's not starting against Brentford. I don't buy that for a second.
I mean, me and Nightmare both had. Well, Nightmare had an even worse start of the season to you. And we've both turned it around by conforming a bit. For example, mainly the triple captain in Haaland this week. You just want to go blind down the alley. Like, I don't know, we've tried the intervention and he's grabbing the beer or the bottle of vodka and he's walking down the alley. He's like, get off, I'm doing it my way, Is that how it is, Darius?
Yeah, well, I just think that I bought him in for a reason. I bought him in because I strongly believed he was a good captaincy shout over the next 2 weeks. That's why I bought him in. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought him in. And I'm going to give him the Brentford game. I still remember I had a dream about it last year and he returned a brace. So I can't sit there and give up on the dream. And I feel like my boy will repay my faith. So I'm all in.
Okay, well, I can't wind you up because you're not on Saturday, but at least if Foden scores a hat-trick, I don't have to put up with you rubbing it in on the lock-in. But I'll be with you in your stream, obviously. All right, so let's move on to Trig's team. Trig has, and I believe this is with the transfer you're planning to make in mind already in the team, Trig. Sanchez at home to Liverpool, Virgil away to Chelsea, Senesi at home to Fulham. Trig?
Lacroix.
Lacroix. Away to Everton. Saka at home to West Ham. Ndidi at home to Crystal Palace. Reinders away to Brentford. Sunderland Vice at home to Sunderland. Then Haaland cap. João Pedro. A lot of people selling him this week. Maybe we could give a quick thoughts on him as well. At home to Liverpool. And then Gyökeres at home to Arsenal. Over to you, Trig.
Yeah, I mean, I've had Wirtz in my team, so my planned transfer is Wirtz to Saka, which probably will be tonight because Wirtz is going to drop in price, I think. Obviously, Gordon's just announced himself as a penalty taker, which I don't think we knew before. Is there anyone missing for Newcastle that would be penalty taker other than Gordon? Is Gordon now 100% on penalties?
Yeah, like Whistle doesn't have a history of taking pens at Brentford anyway. So unless it's like in their contracts, which obviously is not in Voltemada's contract, otherwise he would have taken the pen. So I doubt Whistle would have included that clause in his contract. So it should be Gordon with like 100% pen share.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go and have a look at Gordon because I'm not the sort of person who's just going to bring him in because he scored 2 penalties tonight. So I'm going to have to run all the numbers.
To be fair, like it's a great entry point, right, for Gordon playing against at home.
Yeah.
He's going to look at what Solio says.
I'm going to have a look at Solio to see what Solio thinks once the penalty share has been adjusted. So, but yeah, Saka. I mean, I haven't got any Arsenal defence, which worries me. but I couldn't not sell Wirtz, I think, this week. So otherwise, I would have done Virgil van Dijk to Gabriel. But I've got no plans for next week, so I can always do Virgil to Gabriel next week if I so choose, or one of the other. Although I won't have any money if I get Saka. The good thing with getting Gordon would be I'd have enough money to get Gabriel and still keep Virgil van Dijk, who does have decent fixtures coming up, doesn't he? And I'm going to have to see whether Gordon, because Gordon's like 2.3 million cheaper than Saka. And so it's going to be interesting to see.
Trig,
yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. I didn't expect Saka to be benched.
Cloud Pedro's been bought out by 300,000, I reckon. May only be 200,000, but he's been bought out by a lot. What are your thoughts on him? I mean, he's the highest owned player in the game, or he's one of them, isn't he? Are you sticking by him?
I'm being patient with him. I mean, their fixtures really get good in a couple of weeks' time. And we've seen with these strikers, I mean, there's nobody. You could switch to someone else and they'll go off form. We've had 3 goals from Bowen. He could go quiet. Voltemada's doing well, isn't he? But there's no one really sticking their hand up to make it worth a transfer. So if I ever go back to Salah, then I might turn him into a 4.5. I mean, that's a possibility in a few weeks if I decide I want the Salah and Haaland team. But other than that, there's no, when Palmer comes back, maybe I might want to get Palmer in, downgrade Pedro to a 4.5 and have a flash midfield. But yeah, I don't know why people were taking him out this week, to be honest. I know they've got Liverpool, but people are quite fickle, aren't they? So just because people are doing something doesn't mean we should be doing it.
Kanji, I'll come over to you, mate. Thoughts on biggest team? What would you be doing with it, with this bunch of misfits?
Yeah. I would be going for Arsenal defense this week. Gabriel Raya, I'd be covering up the EO. Not even just the EO. Like, you're buying into like one of the best picks in the game with either one of them. And then I would deal with the midfielder either with a hit or... See, this is why I don't like to stack pick, bro. If you had picked someone else, then I would have just played him. But anyways, you've gone with that now. He's already delivered in your bench boost.
Yeah, you can't not stack after the bench boost.
What's wrong with stack? What's wrong?
No, I mean,
how does stack affect my points this week?
Well, let's say, for example, you had someone else there. I don't know, that you'd be more comfortable playing. Even like Caicedo.
James Garner.
Caicedo would be 4 points. I'd be like, all right, play the 4 points.
So who would I bench? Who would I bench to play Caicedo this week?
Well, you wouldn't have Saka on your team. You'd be benching Wirtz or whatever, right?
I don't want to bench Wirtz, but Wirtz has got to go.
Yeah,
I'm not losing even more money on
all right,
Wirtz.
fair play. Yeah, then I think you've done it. You've done what you need to do.
Stack up on the score this week, anyway.
I would go for the Arsenal defender, though. I would -4 this myself.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I am tempted to do Virgil van Dijk to Gabriel for a hit. I must admit. I think he will probably outscore him by more than 4 points over the next 5 weeks. But I can do it for free next week. Although I guess it does move the team forward. I probably should have taken out Wirtz for a hit last week, I think, and I would have been able to do it for free this week. But yeah, we shall see. If Saka does go off, you lot are all going to be scrambling for him. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm having to play Lacroix, but I mean, they could keep a clean sheet. He could get defensive contribution points, and he could get more points than Gabriel. So none of us know. I'm sick of following the template with picks like Ndai, Paquetá, all these sort of players that don't do anything when you get them. So I've missed out on Gabriel's points now, so I don't think I am going to take a hit, actually. I'm going to be brave. It's like I haven't got Semenyo. It's all this talk about EO. You can't just copy. And that's why all the content creators have got exactly the same team, because they're too scared to stick their necks out. Whereas me, I'm going for it, peeps. I'm going for it with a very template team, but not with Gabriel.
I've got to bring Darius in there for his weekly roast of Triggerlet's team. He's different. Go in there, Darius.
I mean, so you've already bought Sucker in, is that right, Trig?
No, I'm doing that tonight, I think.
Oh, okay. I was like, threw me then.
That's
I was
my
like, I can already
plan.
see Sucker in there. Okay,
That's
yeah,
my
yeah.
plan, but there's a chance it could be Gordon now. I'm going to have a rethink, so we shall see.
Have you only got the one free transfer? One free transfer, that's it?
One free transfer, yeah.
I think I'd still sell and die in first instead. I just think he's a crap pick. I don't care what anyone else tells me. I know what I watch, and I've watched Everton like 4 times this season, and I thought he's been crap in every single game. Even the ones where he's actually got the return, that was like the only involvement he had. His underlying stats are horrible. There's nothing good about him at all. It's a bit like Anderson, the clean sheet. I don't have to repeat that for anyone in the chat that knows my love about Anderson, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't rate those 2 picks at all. Other than that, I think your team's all right. But I also think you've got problems in the forward line. I don't think João Pedro and Gyökeres are as good as, especially post this week in game week 8 onwards. I think Jared Bowen's actually better than both of them, and pretty comfortably better than both of them.
Let's see.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I really dislike the fact you bought Ndiaye last week. I'm like, there's no way you made that decision yourself. You used that off FPL Solio or something, because there's no way, and I know you watched the games, Trig, there's no way in the hell that you watched Everton and thought Ndiaye is a good pick. Like, it's not possible unless you're trying to watch them.
It wasn't a Solio pick. It was more a cover pick, because everybody went for him on their wild cards. And I thought, well, I want to get as many points as a wild card is without wild carding. Do you know what I mean? So I just kind of got him in more. It was more of a cover pick to like an EO pick, like Kanji says. That was the main reason I got him. And I didn't have any strong feelings about anyone else. I think I would have gone Kudos maybe if I hadn't got him. But yeah, I mean, he might be okay. He's had quite a few returns this season so far. So I'm not writing in die-off yet.
Because I sit and look at that pick, and I'm like, the options you could have picked instead. You've got Minte at 5.9. You've got Enzo at 6.7. You've got Sarr at 6.4. All significantly better picks than Ndiaye. I just don't understand why you went there. And then if you wanted to save even more money, you could have gone for Anthony from Burnley, who has been absolutely destroying it. And his underlying numbers are like double what Ndiaye's are, and he's actually producing on top of those numbers.
You always mention the ones that got points in the previous week. It's always the same.
What? I promoted Anthony last week and he got another goal. Now the cartel are mentioning him because the D-Unit mentioned him first.
Sarr had been injured and we didn't really know. He's come back and got a goal, obviously. So he now, I mean, if that had been the week before, he would have been in everyone's team instead of Ndiaye, wouldn't he? Let's be honest. And Minte is a review pick. I wouldn't go near him. I don't trust him at all. Anthony, no, not at Burnley. So, you know, I'm happy enough we didn't die, but we shall see what happens with him.
So, Kanji, you may not be keeping up with this, but Trig's nicknamed Solio Boy. I am nicknamed FPL Review Boy. And Darius is nicknamed the bloke that's 7.9 million in the world. So, you know, you take what and you get. All right.
Hopefully after Foden's hat trick this week, it'll be like the boy that's ranked 4 million in the world next week.
Hopefully not. Okay, lads. I don't know, how long do you want to go? Should we do a quick Q&A?
Yeah, I'm quite happy. Keep going.
Darius has got to be gone in 5 to 8.
About 20 minutes. I've got 20 minutes.
Do you want to quickly promote it, Darius? You're for Champions League players.
I mean, I can see a lot of my boys in the chat, so you guys know that we're doing the live watch along at 3 p.m. for the Champions League. If you want to join me there, it's going to be epic. We've got the shots ready to go. Every 5 goals. We got 25 goals yesterday. I did 5 shots, which was pretty exciting. So hopefully more of the same tonight.
Yes. Yeah, please do check out that. So I've just put a thing in, get your questions in the chat. Okay, I've got a very quick one. Repentant Master, Gordon or Bowen? Kanji, I'll come to you, mate. Gordon or Bowen?
Gordon.
Gordon, just
I'm not. I like pens. I'm a pens merchant.
no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. First round. A boy, where did you finish last season? Dan Gary Trigger and asked where D-Unit finished. I finished that just outside of the top 100,000. Trigger finished 35,000. Darius had a lucky season. I think that's the answer, isn't it? No, Darius finished 5k. Boosters only. Where are you guys? Why are you guys suggesting a game week 13 wildcard when we get 5 free transfers in game week 16? That is a fair point. Trig, I mean, this is something that was going around the community for a long time, wasn't it? I mean, all the content creators seem to have wildcarded now, but why do you think that was the sort of chosen moment before all the content creators had such a shit start to the season?
Big fixture swing in game week 13. Liverpool got absolutely fantastic fixtures and a few other teams. And I don't think the fact that the 5 transfers follows on so quickly makes any difference really to you. I mean, obviously, you're going to want to use them all up before you do your wild card. And then probably the first week after your wild card, you don't normally make any transfers, but then you can make a couple and you can save your free 5-3 transfers, can't you? That's what I'm planning to do with them. Keep them all the way up to about game week 30. So you don't need a wild card anyway. If you don't need a wild card, why play it? Because, you could get like 3 or 4 injuries anytime, can't you? And you might need your wild card, but at the moment you don't. So tentatively plan for 13, but be aware that don't stick to it. Like I think it was Praz, wasn't it, who was religiously sticking to game week 13. But I think even he may have wildcarded this week, or perhaps he didn't. No, he didn't. He free hitted, so he's still saving his up for game week 13. But I wouldn't be too wedded to that game week. If your team does need it before, then use it. But your team's now past the point where it needs a wild card. Might have done a few weeks ago.
Napster, who's a channel member, asks, start 2. Xavi Simons, Richarlison, Bowen, or Xhaka? Darius?
I've already answered this. Xavi and Pigeon.
Okay. Go up a little bit. Triple captain, Haaland this week, if you still have him. Kanji?
No. I know Brentford, their defense isn't that great, but historically, this is the type of fixture under Frank where they would sit deep and they would usually be giving shots away to the midfielders like Foden, which is why I'm happy to just captain and not triple captain.
Claire, a big supporter of the channel, says game week 7, Stack versus Virgil van Dijk. Which one of these two would you start bench? Trig, you've got both of them.
Game week 7, this game week, you mean?
Yeah.
I'd start Virgil van Dijk, I think, over Stack. Well, I am. So, yeah. It makes me question whether I should get rid of Virgil van Dijk. But I think after game week 7, Liverpool have got quite good fixtures, haven't they? So game week 8, they've got a good fixture. But I'm worried that Liverpool are in decline. And people say Salah is old. But I mean, Virgil van Dijk's older than him, and he could be in a bit of decline himself now. And those around him aren't great. We don't know how long the keeper's out for. Apparently, the backup keeper's very good, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
and he'll be making his debut. So you never know. They could keep a clean sheet against Chelsea. Everybody's selling João Pedro because he's useless. So who are they expecting to score all these goals for Chelsea against Liverpool? And it's not going to be that little prick Fernandez again.
Kirsten Kiston asks, if you had one transfer, would you prioritise Arsenal or Newcastle, defence or attack? Darius, guessing it's saying Arsenal or Newcastle and defence or attack. I'm not sure. Oh, Arsenal defence or Newcastle attack.
Arsenal defence or Newcastle attack. That seems a bit weird. I've obviously gone all in on Newcastle defence, mainly because of the fact that I think their assets are, relatively speaking, roughly the same as Arsenal's, and they're significantly cheaper, which is why I bet on Newcastle. I won't lie, Arsenal's underlying data is better than Newcastle's, but there's not that much in it. And I just really like the fixtures for Newcastle. And based on what we've seen so far, I'm backing them in for clean sheets. And that's why I picked Dan Burn and Pope. And I'm going to rock probably double Newcastle defense when everyone's rocking double Arsenal. And I'm kind of hoping that I've got it right and everyone else has got it wrong, because if I've got it right, I'm going to make up a hell of a lot of points pretty quickly, especially if Arsenal concede the odd goal, because they're not going to be getting too many other points if they're conceding. So I am betting. It is a gamble, but it's a gamble I'm willing to take because I know that the template is all going to be on double Arsenal defense. And if it stinks and double Newcastle pays off, all of a sudden, some of these points I need to catch up are going to come flying in pretty quickly.
I'm looking at the fixtures now. They're very, very similar. Very similar fixtures. Newcastle's fixtures, not really worse than Arsenal's fixtures.
Really?
Yeah.
They're pretty good. Forest, Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, Brentford in the next 5. Then they've got Burnley, Sunderland coming up soon after that. So they're not terrible.
Neil asks, which player would you take a hit for this week? A must-have for game week 7, Kanji.
Gyökeres, Holland, Bruno. That's it.
Okay, nice one. Hippie asks, Trig, I've taken a -4 for Dubravka to Marmouth Davili. Is that right?
Yeah.
And Bruno to Antonio. -4 for Dubravka to Marmouth Davili and Bruno to Antonio. Is he crazy?
Who's Antonio?
The Burnley lad.
Oh my.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course he's crazy. He's taken Fernandez out before Sunderland.
He's probably had
But we knew he was crazy anyway.
He's probably had a few reefers before he's made that one, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's the problem. So he probably just wants to hear you pronounce the Liverpool goalkeeper's name.
Probably. Oh God, the chat's going so
Let me have
fast.
a look. I'm going to have a look at his name now, see if I can pronounce it. Let's see if we can get it
questions coming in
right.
so fast, I've completely lost where I was in the chat. Right, here we go. Darius, why not dribble after defence? If double is template, surely dribble is respectable, right? Says Amazing Johnny.
Because we've seen Arteta roulette already, and we saw Saliba bench last weekend. We've seen, obviously, Timber and Calafiori bench tonight. I think it's a matter of time before you end up with someone on the bench, and they might sit there the whole game, or they might come on for 1 point, which is highly likely, I think, moving forward, which is another reason why I didn't actually go for an Arsenal defender, and I went for Newcastle, because I think Dan Burn is almost a lock every single week for 90 minutes, and I think Pope is as well. And I think that all those Arsenal defenders at some point will get rotated between now and the next international break, which will be game week 12.
Yeah, I just see Darius is putting out. I will be joining Darius at some point on Saturday during the watch along. Kev says, how essential are Arsenal assets this week? I think we've already covered that, Kevy. Maybe not as essential as they would have been had Nuno not taken over. James Buchanan asks, what's everyone's opinion on either starting Lacroix or whatever his name is, or Rondon? I can't remember where I was going to now. Trig. Lacroix.
Lacroix or Rodon?
Rodon.
Against Tottenham, I think I'd rather start Lacroix. I mean, it depends on how hard Palace's game is in the Europe, I think, as well, because that could affect them at the weekend. I mean, Rodon's been getting defensive contribution points as well, hasn't he? But you'd think that Tottenham, are they at home to Tottenham? They are, aren't they? They could keep a clean sheet against Tottenham. You never know. But I'd probably start Lacroix. This is what I'm doing.
Just checking something quickly, because I think we've got he's a channel member, and I think he may currently be top of the PubCast League, which you can sign up for in the description below. Alex Sweet, he is. I believe he's at the top of our PubCast Mini League, and also the top of the Patreon Mini League for Elite FPL. Would you keep Poro long term? No. I would get rid of him to Gabriel, Alex. But you shouldn't be taking my advice. You're doing extremely well this season.
Is anyone bench boosting, by the way, this week? Anybody bench boosting in the chat? Because it's not a bad week problem. It's very few injuries at the moment, are there?
Game week 8's way better bench boost with some of the fixtures like Burnley versus Leeds is in game week 8. I think there'd be a lot of people that probably have cheaper players have probably got one of them. And realistically, you're not going to play them in game week 7 when you can play with the easier fixture in game week 8, I think.
I'm expecting a couple of red arrows. No Arsenal defence this week. I'm expecting my first red arrow of the season. And game week 8, there's a lot of people going to be bench boosting. So we could all be on red arrows next on game week 8.
Except me.
Are you bench boosting?
No, I'm just coming from way back, so it's much easier for me to get a green arrow. So.
Dr. David says, how many weeks is Darius going to be saying he's soaring up the ranks without moving anywhere?
Every bloody week, baby.
Every bloody week. Even if he finishes 12 million this season and 12 million next season, he'll be doing it in 3 seasons' time. Thoughts on Gabriel as a pick, says Jordan K. Kanji.
I think he's like the first or second best defender in the game. I'm weighing up a -4 to bring him in, so I think he's an amazing pick. Any defender to him for free is a great move this week.
Yeah, I know FPL Nightmare was regretting not getting him in this week. Repentant Master, Van Dijk, Munoz, Garvodio, Senesi, Toskoski, 5 defenders strategy. Is this too crazy? Going back to the DEFCON daddies there. Darius?
DEFCON daddies. I think the last 2 weeks have shown exactly what I thought about DC points in the first place. And clean sheet is still king, but there's been no clean sheets. There's been 3 clean sheets in 2 weeks, which is just ridiculous when you think about it. So maybe this is a sign that going back to the attacking defenders like the Juifs of the world who have racked up back-to-back returns might actually be the play, because if we keep on getting no clean sheets, it doesn't really matter what the DC daddies do, because if they're conceding 2 goals, their ceiling is 3. If Juif continues at the rate he's getting assists, he's going to be beaten in most weeks.
Yeah, Darius, have you got to go in 5 minutes, right? Is that right? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take one more question. Even though there's a million there, I'll scroll down, and the next one I see is... no, the questions are gone. Disappeared.
Can you do that again? Can you do that sound again? Can you please redo that sound again?
It's because there's no more questions.
No, you did it poorly that time. The first time round was epic. I was like, what am I listening to?
I think probably because everyone's going to go and watch your excellent stream on the Champions League. Darius. There is one. Gino, who do you think has the highest ceiling in the next 6 game weeks? Paqueta, Sarr, or Minter? Nick?
Say Sarr. We don't know where Paqueta is going to play yet, do we, with the new manager?
No.
So we don't know if he's still going to be on penalties even, do we? He's assumed to be on penalties, I think. But I don't know whether a new manager would change who the penalty taker was going to be. Maybe they don't.
Claire FPL is saying I need to go to pronunciation school so I can pronounce names properly.
Tell him to pronounce let's hear your pronunciation of a Liverpool goalkeeper, Gary.
I had it written in front of me a minute ago. I don't know. Philly something.
Oh, no.
Mama Dashvili.
Mama Philly, yes. All right.
Yeah, I think that's
Quick question. Walter or Bowen moving forward? If you had to pick one of them, who would you pick and why?
Bowen, because this is going to be back.
Trig?
I'll say Voltemada. I don't think Visser coming back is necessarily going to mean he's straight back in the team. And they can both play in the same team as well, can't they?
Bowen's like locked for minutes, so it's Bowen.
Is Visser going to be first choice? I mean, this guy's playing really well, this new striker that Newcastle have got.
Yeah, he's looking better than Isaac did when he first came to us.
And how rusty's what's his face going to be? You know, he's going to be he's not going to come straight back into the side, is he?
He doesn't need to, though. Like, look at what JP and Delap was at the beginning part of the year. Like 60-30, 60-30. Next thing you know, it's 30-60. So you don't want to deal with this. Just go
That's
bone.
when João Pedro was getting all his points. It's since João Pedro's had to play 90 minutes, but he's overly tired and not producing as much as he was. So having that competition there can actually be good for the striker, I think, even though they might be playing less minutes.
Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up because I know
yeah.
Darius needs to go. So please join us for the FPL Lock-In, which is the Saturday night stream we do at a new time of 7:30. So we can coincide with Darius' stream ending. I will be joining Darius at some point on Saturday. But it's just Trig with us this week because you're off on holiday, aren't you, Darius?
Yeah, I've got to go to sleep because I've got to wake up in the morning and drive to Perth. So I've got to go to bed at a half decent hour on Saturday night.
It's going to be a slightly more sober lock-in than usual, but I'll be having my usual points. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the stream. The channel has been nominated for some awards, the Football Content Awards, which is a great honour and all that sort of stuff. If you'd like to vote for the channel, it's under my old channel name of FPL Have a Beer. We would greatly appreciate your support if you could support us. Again, I'm trying to finish quickly here. The channel is this whole stream is for charity. Well, I'm slightly worried that we've been demonetized today because I'm watching it in the background. And anyway, I won't go into that. We can get into that when we finish the stream. Trig, where can we find you?
Trig Talks FPL on YouTube. That's about it, really. Go and check out the wonderful videos that you already do watch anyway.
Yep. Darius, where can we find you, my friend, in streaming in about 5 minutes?
Oh, you can just find me FPL D_Unit. Yeah, we're doing. I can't believe I'm doing another bloody watch along for the UCL, but it's going to be great stuff. And it was fun last night because there was so many goals. So hopefully we get the same again today.
Yeah, in fact,
I forgot to change my bench.
Thanks so much.
Unlucky Trig. I'm on track for over 100 points, please. Get in.
Thanks so much for stepping in at the last minute, Darius, as well, because I know Darius kindly stepped in when we had someone pull out at the last minute. And Kanji, where can we find you? I hear you have a very amazing guest on your podcast tomorrow.
Yeah. So you can find me on the Former's Temporary podcast with Roberto. Gary is going to be joining us this week. You can also find me on Twitter at Kanji FPL.
Awesome. All right, thank you everyone for joining. Sorry we didn't get if we didn't get to your question. Yeah, enjoy the Champions League football this evening, and we'll see you on Saturday, hopefully, or otherwise next Wednesday with who have we got next week? Roberto and good friend of the channel, FPL Punk.